Hey guys, what's going on? Blepner here with another team review. Here with my dog today. Say hi, Ben. Ben doesn't know what's going on. But we're here looking over some Autorekt teams in Ultra League Open. So what I found was that the Ultra League Open format allowed me to make some pretty spicy plays because the meta is so narrow and there's so many bulky Pokemon that can be hard countered by some Pokemon that you don't usually see in the meta. So without further ado, let's see how my battles went. So we have Electivire into Cresselia. This is a pretty neutral matchup. The sheer bulk of Cresselia is really going to cost Electivire here because Electivire is super squishy. You can see here that it does not take this Grass Knot well. And Cresselia gets the Grass Knot at the same time that Electivire gets to Wild Charge. So I actually bait there, and unfortunately, I don't get a shield. Luckily, this time I do get a shield, so that's good. And Registeel comes in. So there's a very specific reason why I like Defense Deoxys as a safe swap here, and it's because of stalling time. So basically, what I do is I get in as much counter damage before debuffing my attack. And you see there that I got all the way to 100 energy before throwing off these Psycho Boosts. And I can just keep spamming these Psycho Boosts until the timer runs out, the timer on the right side of the screen, and I can switch into another Pokemon. And this is actually really good that they throw their energy here because now they don't have any energy. I can come into Politoed. I just go straight for the Weather Ball here, not fooling around, and I can Mudshot them down if they don't swap out. So they swap out into Cresselia, and I'm just going to start raining down these Weather Balls here. Unfortunately, I do have to shield just because even one Grass Knot would be enough to put Shadow Politoed very low. And I decided to double shield, so this is a big call on my part because now I'm a shield down. I went from one shield up on the swap to one shield down. Luckily, they don't call the Earthquake there. I think I'm going to go for another Weather Ball there. But I do Earthquake, I take him out, and they have an Alolan Muck in the back. So really great that they called my Weather Ball there and didn't shield because now this Alolan Muck is going to have a real hard time against my 3 Pokemon remaining. If you remember, my Defense Deoxys still has a lot of energy. I still have my Electivire and my Politoed still hanging in there. And so now I go into Electivire. I can Wild Charge them here. And even if this didn't kill, the Defense Deoxys has a lot of energy. It's going to be able to KO this Registeel with this Psycho Boost. So that's why I love Defense Deoxys. It's just so reliable on the safe swap, just stalling time, doing damage. Great Pokemon. And so now I'm actually going to swap onto the Stunfisk for the Poison Fang. And I'm hard countered by a Scrafty. So actually, this is a situation where swapping might have not been the move. If I could have read that they had a Scrafty in the back, I might not have done that. But as it stands, I'm just going to try and do as much damage as possible to the Scrafty. The Earthquake lands are huge damage, and I don't get to the Rock Slide. So I'm in a tough spot here. I have to make a decision what I'm going to come into. I come into the Dragonite. I'm hoping that this is just a power-up punch here, but it's a foul play. So that does a lot of damage to my Dragonite. Hopefully I can take him out. No, this is a power-up punch. So my Dragonite is very low at this point. I have to blind swap into my Alolan Ninetales and hope I can take out whatever's in the back with the combination of Alolan Ninetales and Dragonite. But I actually throw my Dragon Claw first, so that does a little bit of chip damage. And then we simultaneously swap, them swapping into their Nidoqueen, me swapping into my Alolan Ninetales. But I do have a little bit of an energy advantage here. I'm going to get to these Weather Balls slightly quicker. So it's going to be a close call here. But luckily, due to Alolan Ninetales bulk, I'm going to survive these defense debuffed poison jabs and get to this weather ball. I actually tie them to the weather ball. I mean, I actually do one more powder snow after the weather ball because I recognized that they still had one more poison jab to go before they got to their move. And because of that, I'm able to get to the weather ball versus the Obstagoon, and then I get to the Dragon Claw. So very close game there, but just chipping down the Obstagoon in the back. So many small moves together make for a lot of damage. So there I safe swap Snorlax, and I am met with Gallade. So this is a pretty good matchup for Snorlax, especially with an energy advantage like I have. Um, I'm going to shield here, and if they let this go, I should be able to lick them down. So let's see what they want to do. They do let it go, so I can just lick them down here. They didn't want to go two shields, uh, zero shields, but because of that, I'm able to get a ton of energy, uh, and now I'm able to do a good deal of damage on the Walrein. Luckily, they try and call that power superpower unsuccessfully, and I switch directly into my own Walrein. So I'm hoping they don't have a direct counter to Walrein in the back. Sure enough, they have a Charizard. So I try to call the Blast Burn there. Unsuccessfully, the Charizard does Blast Burn me. But now I am going to be able to get a lot of farm on my Togekiss because I'm just going to charm this all the way down, and hopefully an Ancient Power plus a few charms should be enough against the Walrein. I was counting there, that wasn't enough for the Blast Burn, and luckily I called the Dragon Claw successfully. I'm able to shield the Icicle Spear. Because they switched into their Walrein, they take two charms there instead of one, which puts them very low, and this Ancient Power is enough to take them out. So there, I knew I could take that Blast Burn on my Walrein because then I can just farm down on my Togekiss. Good to know uh, when you can do those sorts of things. And so now here we have a Typhlosion into my Jellicent, and they're not switching out, which tells me they're weak to Jellicent in the back. Sure enough, it's a Talonflame in the back, so they are very weak to Jellicent. I could potentially farm this all the way down, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that. Instead, I opt to take the Brave Bird, and I actually farm down with Electivire. So here I'm thinking that Electivire can do a lot of damage in the back. So I shield up this Blast Burn. Hopefully I can farm them down before they get to another Blast Burn. Sure enough, I am able to do so. I don't time that move very well. I could have done two Thunder Shocks before doing my Wild Charge instead of one. Once again, I could have done two Thunder Shocks instead of one. If I had done that, then I might have been able to bait and get to a third Wild Charge. But it's looking fine here. This Stunfisk can just shield this move. I should get to my Rock Slide before they get to a second Sacred Fire. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see how much a Sacred Fire does, but you will be able to see how much a Rock Slide does when it's single debuffed against Town. Nope, nope. Never mind. You're not able to see that either because they conclude the match, but that would most likely take out the Ho-Oh despite being debuffed by the Sacred Flame. So here we have a positive matchup for Swampert. Swampert into Talonflame. This will almost take out the Talonflame, but they decide not to let it go. So whatever's in the back is most likely weak to Talonflame. I take the Brave Bird onto my Bouffalon, but luckily it's just a Flame Charge. They're going to straight Flame Charge me here. Let's see if they decide to take this um, Skull Bash. This would almost KO the Talonflame. They don't decide to take it. They're scared of the Skull Bash. So now they're two shields down, two shields to zero. And my Swampert is still very much alive. I am just barely not able to take out the Talonflame with the Swampert. That hurts. That's where a Shadow Swampert would have been much more useful. But we both swap here. So they swap into an Umbreon. I swap into my Mamoswine. So we have Umbreon into Mamoswine. Mamoswine is very, very squishy in the Ultra League, if you didn't know. So this is going to be a tough matchup for sure. because Umbreon is one of the tankiest Pokemon in Ultra League, and Mamoswine is squishier than pretty much anything that you would see in the Ultra League meta. And sure enough, you see there that Umbreon's able to win that matchup on uh, um, bulk alone. And then they switch into Talonflame. So I farm up as much as I feel safe doing so. And then I throw my move. I take out the Talonflame. It's a real shame that I had to use up all that energy on Swampert. But luckily, they have a Charmer in the back. So Swampert against a Charmer is usually a GG because Swampert charges up so fast. I saw there that my Hydro Cannon didn't do quite half of the Sylveon's health, so I just went for the Earthquake for the second move, and that's just enough to take him out. So that's an example of how regular Swampert is quite good against um, Charmers versus Shadow Swampert. And so here, actually, you see that they had Gallade in the lead, but that Gallade charm. This is our ticket to victory because our Venusaur will actually have quite a good matchup versus the Gallade because it has charm. Um, I'm going to really rely on Venusaur in the back. Unfortunately, here I have my Ice Beam Empoleon into the Walrein. That's just one of the perils of the Autorekt system where they might recommend something that might not be what you want against what you plan to see in the Ultra League. I do call that Earthquake. I am taken out. So now it's Venusaur versus the world, folks. Gallade with these charms is not going to do very much damage, but the charms and the Leaf Blades are going to slowly wear me down. So I know this is going to be a Leaf Blade, but I do shield it up anyway because I just don't want to take any excess damage with my Venusaur. And they have a Swampert in the back. So thankfully, because the opponent was running Spice, was running that Charm Gallade, my Venusaur in the back is going to take it. If they had Confusion on their Gallade, this would have been a much different story, but I respect my opponent for going for the unconventional moveset. So GG to my opponent. And now we have Escavalier into Granbull. This is a pretty good matchup just because Escavalier is able to get to these moves a little bit faster. I have Acid Spray on my Ultra League Escavalier. And they shield, so Drill Run would have done more damage, but regardless, it's good to be able to get the shield there. And then they come into Trevenant. So this is a great matchup for my Umbreon. There's nothing that Trevenant can do. I can actually farm all the way down here. And this is a really good situation for me because I can farm all the way down, get to 100 energy clean, and potentially either chip down this. No, it looks like I'm going to switch into straight back into my Cavalier because I actually have Stunfisk in the back. And what I'm thinking here is I want to save my Mandibuzz and its energy just in case they're strong to Stunfisk in the back, which I would expect because they're leading with a Charmer, which is very weak against Stunfisk. But luckily, they actually have a Walrein in the back, so Walrein isn't going to be able to do a whole lot because I'm able to take them out with just a little over 2 Rock Slides, and I can just go for these 2 Rock Slides. If you remember, my Mandibuzz actually has just about 100 energy, so even if they shield these Rock Slides, the Dark Pulse from the Mandibuzz should be enough to take them out. So they do come into the Granbull, so I'm going to Earthquake the Granbull. I could have farmed up there more, but I recognize that at this point, the Dark Pulse from the Mandibuzz will be enough to take out this Walrein, and that's going to be a good game. Actually, 2 Dark Pulses there in case the first one didn't quite take it out. We have Skuntank into Pidgeot. This is a pretty good matchup just because Pidgeot is so squishy, and the Poison Jabs plus the Crunches going to do a lot of damage. They do get it in a Gust, so that might be the the thing that beats lets them beat me in this match. But I actually called the Feather Dance there, and I'm going to go for this Aqua Tail. And so if they shield this, they're going to be 2 shields down. And sure enough, they shield it. They're 2 shields down. Uh, and I try to call the Feather Dance there, but it's the Brave Bird. Oof. I'm going to have to decide what I want to farm down with. I decide on my Escavalier, and I met with a Swampert. So it's pretty good that I came to Escavalier here because uh, Skuntank would get farmed down by Swampert pretty easily. But I'm still in a tough spot because the Swampert is going to beat me to this next move. I catch on to Skuntank just thinking that they're going to throw it as soon as they get it just because they don't want to tie me to the drill run. And luckily I am able to take the move on Skuntank. The Escavalier takes out the Swampert, and they have Stunfisk in the back. So this is an example of where recognizing that Escavalier is going to be really strong in the back, and just putting all my hopes on Escavalier ended up winning me the match. I'm able to double drill run this Stunfisk and take the win. It's a very good game. And so lastly, last game here, we have Charizard into Giratina Altered. I catch the Dragon Claw onto my Snorlax. Let's see how that ends up. I do expect them to have a counter for Snorlax. Sure enough, they do. They have a Alolan Muck, but with a huge energy advantage like they have, Alolan Muck is really going to suffer against the constant damage of the Licks and the Body Slams. They don't have any fast move damage because they're using Snarl instead of Poison Jab. So they're going to have to rely on these Dark Pulses. The second Dark Pulse isn't going to be quite enough to take me out. So if I'm lucky here, I can actually get to this Body Slam, and I do. So really close call. I just got to it by 1 turn, but just trusting him with the IVs on my Snorlax and getting to it really paid off. And now I'm going to, I actually tried to throw the Dragon Claw there, but luckily it didn't throw it because now I'm able to farm this Muck all the way down. That's a lot of good energy. And I'm going to chip the Giratina with this Dragon Claw because they don't know what's in the back. They allow me to chip them, and they have a Charmer in the back. So just like Swampert, Alolan Ninetales is usually good news against a Charmer because it's just going to get to these moves so quickly. And I'm just going to spam out these moves, do some reliable damage for their Charmer, and then my Charizard should be able to take in the back because it has so much energy, and it will resist these charms. And then I get to 2 Weather Balls. So 1 Weather Ball for the Charmer, 1 Weather Ball for the Giratina Altered, and then finally I have a Dragon Claw and Change for the Giratina Altered. If I shield this, I should be able to get to 2 Dragon Claws in time and take the win. So even though this team was randomly generated, I did end up really liking it just because of how quickly everything gets to its moves and how we're able to chip down this Giratina Altered, one of the most common Pokemon in the current Ultra League meta. So I hope you like these spicy teams. I definitely enjoyed using them. In particular, I enjoyed using the Mamoswine, the Escavalier, things that you wouldn't normally see in the Ultra League. I definitely want to make more of those types of Pokemon and see how they do in future matches in the Ultra League Autorekt. So if you like these videos, please leave a like down below. Please subscribe and let me know how your battles are doing. All right, see you later, guys. Bye.